Okay, so I wanted to start documenting some of the Soundcraft series or 600, SC600, Soundcraft 600 mixing console. I think it's from the 1980s. I'm not sure when it was produced until. I would think maybe there's a date on something here. So it's just called the S600 tie line patch for this. This is just one component, and the entire board is like, this is the other side of it, the back side of it. I'm waiting for parts to arrive from China for this, and as you can see, it's, I think, a 40 pin, hopefully, because that's what I ordered. Cable here, just ribbon cable that goes into here, sort of like a computer one. And the same system is used inside this mixing console. I have other videos showing the inside of these channel strips and the faders, but they all also attach via tie lines. But once I get that, it's going to go to a development, like a little 40 pin adapter card. And then I have some breadboards, so I'll be able to attach the other ends of the cables into the breadboards and pin out for the audio itself. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm going to attach, there's 4 of these, I think, each is 16 monos. So that's like 16, 32, 64, 32 channels, which is what the SC600 or Soundcraft 600 mixing console was. I think it was a 32 channel, I think. So basically I can do like half of this 52, or it's a 48 channel chassis, but I think it's 56 channels if you count each of the stereo pairs as 2, because there's 4 of them, so that's 8. But and then I think there's like 48 regular channels, like mono channels, so it's like 56 channels total. They're not quite the same, but the point is that each channel can be tied into one of these plugs. Although, yeah, so I'm not sure if this is bronze or copper or gold plate. I'm really not sure, because it's not corroded for being 40 years old, so I'm thinking it must be gold plate. Yeah, so the plugs are probably gold plate or some other material that doesn't corrode. So I'm seeing, like, look how clean that is for being, maybe it's a replacement, but that's like, if it was made in like 85, say, that's 40 years, and there's like no corrosion on these solder points, so it must have been cleaned or something, unless it's like that's crazy clean for the age of this. This is a little bit close, but some of these look like they might have been a little bit of corrosion from acid, but normally the flux you use is acidic, right? So it's hasn't really affected this. I guess they use non-acid flux or something on it, but that's pretty clean. And then there's no corrosion on any of the contacts themselves. So I think if all the lines, which look good, it looks pretty clean to me, the board, then it would be like, if there's 16 channels with 2 each, then 38 of these pins are actually linked to stuff. And I don't know if the other 8 go to ground or what exactly is going on with that, but for the tie lines, it should be the easiest part. And the cool thing is that it's more or less just a patch, direct patch, so it's like a junction. These are what the mount to the chassis, like the frame, the metal frame that's down there, and then it's just the cable each of these junctions are soldered in, and then there's one resistor, which is for the ground path, I guess. I don't know why. Maybe it's to reduce like reverse ground path, like giving some resistance. I'm guessing that's not a diode. Could be a blocking diode, like a unidirectional blocking diode, but it looks like a resistor. I don't know. L1. So if it's L1, that doesn't think it's an inductor, but it may just be to prevent reverse current into the lines. So it may be like a blocking diode. I need to look that up, but that's it. That's basically it. And then the ground is here. So all same as how it works inside here. They just all have grounding wires go into this point. It just clips in, like it's a little clip that clips into the end of that and snug on it. And then you connect that to your ground source, like the wire. It's obviously usually a green ground or earth wire that can connect to a chassis or an actual grounding thing. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but so these cables, the 40-pin cables, they sell them like on Amazon for like $10+ each, and there's like, it's like, it adds up. That's like $200 worth of these cables. If it was it's like $200-$300 worth of cables if you buy them at retail. But if you order them direct from China, they're like $2 each. I'm not sure if I can quickly just, because like even the stuff from American sellers or European sellers is probably being made in China anyway. So for some stuff, like for small quantity orders, you can order from AliExpress. But for bulk, like say I have 20+ items, like usually they ship by quantity. So it's cheap if you do like one item to do AliExpress. But if you do lots of items, then like look at this. Look at this if you can see it. It's $1.23 to $2 depending on quantity for 10 pieces. So these I think these are just single. I don't know why they have two in the picture. If I got twice as many, that would be hilarious. But it's just like this. So basically it's a 40-pin. It looks like it will fit. The overall dimension is the same. The only problem I can run into is if the pins aren't actually, if they don't actually line up. It's a fairly small ribbon cable, but it's enough for patching in all the cables to these breakout panels. That's not a very good picture here. So that's like a board with pins that much like, I guess it's a bit like this for the ESP32. Just you can plug that into a breadboard directly and then do your pinouts via jumper wires or otherwise for prototyping or just like basic projects. But it comes with the little card and it's $1 something. So if I were to get this same item on Amazon, it'd probably be $10+. The only catch on this is that it's going to be another 3 weeks before it arrives in Canada. So I'm going to be waiting 3 weeks before I can hook these up. But at the same time, I'm on back order for some audio interfaces, an ADA 8200, like it's like an ADAT to TRS or ADAT to XLR. I'm not sure if it's ADAT XLR or ADAT to TRS patch point, like a converter. So it sends 8 channels of audio in and out. Like I can hook it up to one of these light pipelines, these things, which I need to organize a bit better, but I'm still hooking stuff up. So it's like mid to late June. So they're probably ordering it from China, a distributor who's ordering it from China. So if you cut out the middleman and the middleman, then you end up getting it in a shorter time frame. The Amazon's still faster for getting stuff quickly. Like it's still faster to get stuff direct on Amazon, but you're going to be paying like 5-10 times the price. But for instance, for getting the other thing is that if you're doing a special shipment with free shipping, then for your first order on Alibaba, it's up to like 25 or $20 US or something free shipping. But if you are ordering regularly, it's still going to be like $10 US for shipping of 10 of the items. So it will still be like $20-30 for 10 of these cables, but it's like you're going to be paying, if you were to buy 10 of these on Amazon, it would cost you $150. So it's still 5 times more expensive to order on Amazon. Some other things, depends on what you're ordering. It could be the customs tariffs unapplicable, but I think for relatively low value items, they're usually tariff free. If you're in the US, they probably aren't. But yeah, so it still makes a lot more sense if you're not doing anything time sensitive then, and you need to get cables for old consoles that don't like you don't have the ribbon cables. Not to babble here, but if you don't have the ribbon cables because they're not, they didn't come with whatever you got, which was the case in mine. Like I paid, $30 for the patch bay plus shipping. And then I need to order all the ribbon cables, which it's probably going to cost me $50 to $100. Not entirely sure yet, but ordering from China, it's basically if I have 40 cables to buy and each one's like $2, then that's like $80. So it's just another one of those costs, but this doesn't have a patch bay. I sort of want a patch bay. So this was standing in and still is intended as a patch bay for 16 channels or potentially more, but and then for outputs. But this is the section I sort of intend to use it for, is the effects section. So I want to use it as like a digital effects routing, a bit like what I want to do with this and that, like the Apollo. So they're all sort of intended as a patch routings and funny patches nonetheless. But the other thing that I would probably use this for is the actual MIDI controllers. But once the project to get these faders motorized and reading MIDI CC data when they move by putting some magnets and magnetic field sensors in here, like independently, and route it through this. And this is wireless. It won't be real time, but it will be hopefully okay. But once I have all these faders working as fader controllers, this may be less so important because I have 9 faders here, 9 faders here, like 8 and 8 really, 16, and then even with 10 faders that are active on the mixing console, then it's more than enough faders, I think, to work with. And then with this, it's an additional 16, so it's like 32 plus like 42 MIDI faders of varying degrees. The cool thing about these ones when I get them going is that I may have to change out the magnets or the alignment and stuff, but I may be able to use them for special types of analog processes because I can actually program how the analog signal, like the voltage, what the voltage actually does to the MIDI CC information. So it may be a bit like with this MIDI controller here. I'll have to get up, I guess, and show it. But this one up here, it's a MIDI program control change. It only sends certain types of MIDI data on a slider, but I could do like, because I can program each of what the faders do versus just sending position data, but they could theoretically be used to trigger other MIDI events because I can program what different signals actually send as far as MIDI CC data. Anyway, you can probably do that with the MIDI aux too. I haven't really thought of it, but for these controllers, they're sort of hard baked into their controller codes, which you can edit in FL Studio via the MIDI scripting, but it's sort of useful. Anyway, I want to start documenting this for different Soundcraft stuff and what I'm doing with this. So I guess that's more than enough babble. Anybody who hasn't fallen asleep yet, or anybody who's fallen asleep and still listening, I should say. Yeah, so the Soundcraft stuff is pretty simple, but if you don't have the cables, then Alibaba is a very cheap source for getting them, as long as you're ordering in bulk. And the problem is that the quantity, I haven't actually received this item yet, but stuff I've ordered direct from China in the past has been fine. I haven't really been, except wish.com, I haven't really received too much junk that isn't what was described. I would be cautious of ordering on wish.com, but for Alibaba stuff or AliExpress, usually there's a Ali guarantee, and it can be shipped via Alibaba logistics, like Amazon logistics or eBay logistics. And I have a little bit more trust in those systems. Alibaba is a very big company, so again, hopefully it will be fine for getting those products, but it's an easy way to order direct from China. And for getting these 40-pin cables, it probably saved me like $200 to order direct from them.